Today I'm going to be talking about editing techniques. Now when I say editing techniques, I'm not necessarily talking about the technical, I'm talking about from the story perspective. No matter how you shoot your film, you can edit it 5 different ways to get a totally different tone out of your story. I think this was illustrated perfectly in the latest Filmmaker IQ video by John Hess, all about blocking and scene direction. He talks more about acting in terms of how he directed the actors and how he blocked the scene through the camera. But even just from an editing perspective, when you watch each individual scene that he's created, you could see the difference in the way the editing is, the way the pacing is, that the tone is different. He does, for example, a sitcom version of the scene, then he does a romantic comedy, and each one has a certain bit of subtext that makes it a little different from the other. And so I think it's important to watch that video to really get a good idea as to how editing can really affect a scene. There's also a great classic video of Alfred Hitchcock describing how a scene changes through editing, and I'm going to introduce you to that video right now.
Now we have a close-up. Let me show what he sees. Let's assume he saw a woman holding a baby in her arms. Now we cut back to his reaction to what he sees, and he smiles. Now what is he as a character? He's a kindly man. He's sympathetic. Now, let's take the middle piece of film away, the woman with the child, but leave his 2 pieces of film as they were. Now we'll put in a piece of film of a girl in a bikini. He looks, girl in a bikini, he smiles. What is he now? The dirty old man. He's no longer the benign gentleman who loves babies. That's the difference. That's what film can do for you.
It's a very classic example that he gives, and it's so basic, but those little techniques really change the flow of your editing dramatically. And so I think it's important to try new ways than you would imagine in your head or what's written on the page in your editing timeline to see what else can you come up with for your film. Does it better it? Does it make it worse? The editor is really the last writer of the film, or even the last director, let's say, because the director can have a vision in their head, but depending on how that scene or how that film is cut, it could result in a totally different movie. You could go into making a movie one way, come out with something totally different. Here's another great example. Martin Scorsese, when he was making The Wolf of Wall Street, he went into it thinking he was making a drama, but then when he went to the editing, him and his editor, Thelma Schoonmaker, realized this is a comedy, and they cut it as such, and they resulted in a terrific movie. I'm sure it would have been terrific as a drama as well, but that decision to cut it as a comedy, realizing what they had, was very smart on their part. That's about all I got for today. Again, I hope this was helpful, and look for the links in the description below for the full videos I referred to here. I will see you on the next episode.